The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Tokupitch.
Yeah.
A show that went through a lot of changes the last 5.5 years.
It has gone through about 7 different changes. 7 different iterations.
Yeah, but we found something that works, so
Yeah.
More to our style.
that's the important thing.
Yeah. So, this is my turn.
Okay?
If we're going by any sort of order, I would do a Rider next, or an Ultraman, to be fair.
But
But it's our show and we do what we want, so...
exactly.
I had an idea for a Sentai
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that actually came off as a splinter of the last one I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what the last one you did was.
It was the Good and Evil, Angels and Demons.
Oh, right.
Yep.
I try to block those because if I don't, I get sad that they're not real.
Well, this time, it is going to be a little bit longer than the last one, because I sort of went in, like, ideas just kept happening, but I was just
No, I get that.
Oh, that's good.
I had to tie them all together, but it's okay.
Do what you gotta.
So I'm going to put out the name first, because I'm doing that for a reason.
Okay?
So it's Gijutsu Sentai Zenshinger, which is Technology Sentai Advanced. So,
Shinjinja.
Zenshinger.
Oh, I just wanted to say ginger.
Nope. So,
Still not ginger.
just based on the name, of course, it is a technology-based Sentai team, but I actually went in and spelled out the villains this time around.
Is it a sequel to Mega Ranger?
Nope.
Then you have failed.
It is close in conception, though.
Hmm.
So, the villains are all based off of negative moments in technological history.
Mm.
Based off of like wartime efforts more than anything but a perversion of them. Named Con Corporate. They're robotic aliens that conquer and corporate. There you go.
Subtle.
And the monsters of the week are
Might as well have named them capitalism.
sort of. I'll explain why. The monsters of the week are all based off of just like sort of like what Go Busters did, where they're based off regular everyday objects, but dialed up to the nth degree. The actual big bad is based off of nuclear weapons.
I knew you were going to do that.
Yep.
Because we as a human species, in terms of technology, have not gone worse than that.
Yes. I will say that he actually was damaged in a fight prior with a prior, what should I say, a former partner of his. Yes. So they're going to have 2 generals here. I sort of wanted to keep the villain cast sort of small. One of the generals will be based off of biological weapons that will do more to control people through psychological
Mustard
means.
gas, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like what they see and such.
Are we specifically basing them on, like, war weapons? Or...
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to end up saving a little bit of this because I did write this up earlier. But he always comes up with schemes really early on. That's like sort of his big thing. The second general will be more of like an innovator, like a negative sort of innovator coming up with new ideas.
Mad scientist, if you will.
Sort of, yeah. And will be, the primary one coming up with how to make these things and new ideas, finding things from the worlds that they have conquered so far. This is going to lead to some very interesting things further down the line. The foot soldiers are based on like smaller bits of technology and come in 3 stages, similar to the ones from Deca Ranger.
Okay.
Colors are bronze, silver, and gold. So I made sure we had no silver or gold Ranger this time around because of that.
Smart.
They are made in a factory on the spaceship. Bronze are the lower ones, based on nuts and bolts. Silver are based on gears, and golds are based more on like complex gear systems, like sort of like what's inside of a clock, and can overload themselves for like a strength boost with this for a time. The Rangers will all be based more on the positive aspects of technology. What has come on. Red is based on like network technology, and they all work for a company called Zenshinger. So basically just advanced. There's a dog. Red is higher up in the company, sort of.
He doesn't mean in the show. He means his neighbors.
Yeah.
Let's make that abundantly clear.
Red.
So if you hear barking, that's what that is.
Yeah. I'll try to get rid of it as much as possible. Red is middle management in the company who wants to do anything in his power to help people and help the environment. We're going to make this show a little bit more green. He's not hyper. I refuse to do that.
No, that's absolutely fair. Is there a Green Ranger?
Yes.
Then you're on the right track.
He's just a regular person, just trying to do good.
Bad jokes is all I'm here for.
Blue, she is based on radar.
Mm-hmm.
She's a little bit of a cynic, but a good person at heart. Worked in communications.
Oh, Blue is, you said Blue. Okay, so we have a female Blue.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She worked in communications for the company prior to being hired as a ranger, and was a part of her judo club in high school and college.
Nice.
Yellow.
Martial arts background, like it.
Yellow is based on satellite technology. He's a satellite engineer who created the defense system used by the various governments after Concorporate was detected by Zenshinger's satellites. He's also a really good sharpshooter. Just building off of that, there is a defense system around the world, but there is it sort of glitches every once in a while.
Armor around the world.
Pretty much.
You went Avengers, I went Men in Black. I don't know why.
Mostly did it to give an actual reason as to why they couldn't just send down a giant force all at once.
Oh, no, it is a very decent reason. So they look for the event, they look for those glitched holes.
We look for the one little kick in the armor, and that's where we slip through.
Yep. But they did try to send out a whole bunch at once, and they all got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's actually potential there for some really good dramatic tension at the start of an episode.
Yeah.
Where they first do that, it's like, all right, there's like a countdown clock on a screen, 2 minutes and counting. Gotta line it up, calibrate everything, make sure everything's ready, and then you shoot it off at the right time, and then.
No, I find it more hilarious. I would find it more hilarious that they it's already up. Are you saying they launched it because of when they detected them, or was it up and ready before the?
It was already up and ready. They were mostly using it just for meteors and things that might come.
So I would just find it hilarious. Okay, that alarms going off. Oh, that's a lot. Can we handle it? Yeah. All right. Let's. Yeah. It's just all right. Let's what?
I'm thinking of
popcorn.
I'm thinking of when they shoot him one at a time.
Oh,
for the first time.
Oh, I got you. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the entire force.
No, I'm talking about when the villains
Light
are shooting.
show.
When the villains are shooting it in for the first time, we're seeing it from their perspective, and they're like, "Okay, our window is we have a 30-second window. Make sure everything's ready to go by this time."
Oh, okay, and that would be dope.
It's them trying to thread the needle and get the monster in.
Mm-hmm. So Green is based on industrial technology. Mm-hmm. He's a larger, muscular man who worked on a solar wind farm as a repair engineer. Mm-hmm. Very friendly. You always come up with ideas to do things with as little destruction as possible to belay his size.
I admire that. As a big man who has caused a lot of wanton destruction by accident, I can very much get on board with this.
And Pink will be based on transport technology. She's a cheerful individual who worked as a vehicle innovator for the company Zenshin before being hired as a ranger, and who races cars in her spare time. So she's cool. The ranger's weapons are a slightly bigger version of the Chainsaw from Changeman, and they have an electric mode that adds electricity to the weapons.
Will it be called the same thing no matter what weapon it is?
No, it's going to be called Zenshin Sordo.
Change Sordo! It's a shotgun.
Yeah, it actually will, though. I refuse to not have that be a thing, because that was one of my favorite things in Changeman. Just on the whole.
Fucking hate you.
The mecha are vehicle-based this time around, and are a combiner. Red gets an electric muscle car. Blue gets a motorcycle. Yellow gets a helicopter. Green gets an electric truck. And Pink gets a race car.
Interesting. Sorry, I'm trying to think about how that would work combining-wise, since one of the vehicles is much skinnier than the rest.
The helicopter?
No.
The motorcycle.
Unless
think
it's
of turning it wide.
Huh?
Think of turning it wide. Yeah.
It could be the shoulders.
I was thinking shoulders or head.
Of course, I separated this into arcs because it just made it easy. The first arc is an introduction to the Rangers. They work for the company Zenshin. They are strictly working for the betterment of humanity, while also making sure that they take care of the planet that they are on. The first Rangers active in the first 2 episodes are Red, Yellow, and Pink. They are all scientists or management working for the company, but have been training behind the scenes ever since the satellites picked up the Concorporate further out in the stars. Mm-hmm. Yellow is actually the one who came up with the system. Blue and Green also work at the company and are chosen after an act of bravery they did when they were outside. While the other Rangers were fighting, they helped get civilians to safety. Mm-hmm. Red, being middle management, just hires them on the spot as Rangers. So, there's an actual reason for why the Concorporate, I explained that earlier. It has the weak point. The mechs get attachments that are more construction based, so they actually get attachments onto the mechs, such as an excavator, a pile driver, crane, and a. Because of course I had you, JoJo.
I saw that written on there before you said it. I was just waiting.
So they actually also have a doctor on staff.
Yes.
And the Sixth Ranger, who is purple, is introduced at the end of the arc after the rest of the team has been sidelined fighting a monster and is sent out to deal with another one.
Cool.
So the doctor, he this time is purple. I wanted a purple ranger.
Of course you did.
And his mech is based on an electric ambulance. It transforms into something sort of like Signalman's mecha.
Do they have electric ambulances now?
Yes.
Did not know that.
I'm not surprised.
I made sure to look it up first. This is starting the second arc, which happens around episode 17. The team, Bar Green, accepts their new comrade. There was actually some behind-the-scenes stuff where while Green was injured, Purple was the one who was taking care of him. So, of course, there's a thing going there. But it won't be like the last time where I refused to have the romance aspect take frontal stage. It's just going to be a back thing happening.
Which is fine.
Yeah. Green doesn't like him fighting because he doesn't want to see the guy get hurt. But Purple's just like, I see you get hurt all the time. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that you can't. That's sort of why I'm here. We also find out during this set of episodes that Red has a younger brother who works as an intern in the company. Pink has a sister who works as a police officer. And that she has no other family besides that. Yellow is also an orphan. Blue's father works as the CEO of the company that they're working at. And Green also has quite a large family that he is quite close to. And Purple meets a few of them by accident. While they're just out on a date. Yeah, so I do sort of like shenanigans like that happen.
They run into a little sister on, hey, John, who's this?
Damn it. So the first general has been doing some stuff behind the scenes. He starts to put some plans into motion to take over Corporation by having their biotechnological agents working on the foot soldiers to see if he can control them directly without having them listen to anybody else. And the second general has actually been looking through their storage to come up with a new monster and a way to faster fix the big bad when he finds a book, a magic book that they have from one of the worlds that they took over.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just a hard right from the theme you were doing this far.
No, I did it for a reason.
Okay.
Because, they've taken over worlds before. You never know what you could find.
No, no, that's absolutely fine. It's just that I wasn't expecting magic to come up.
Mixes science and, my hope.
Continue with your bitch.
Science beyond our comprehension is magic anyway, so...
That's fair.
Not too much of a stretch.
That is fair. I will give you that.
So, the first general starts acting a bit more insubordinate towards the big bad, and his insubordination pretty much lands him in a tight spot, and is about to be destroyed.
I thought you were going to say lands him in jail.
No, that's it.
Lands him in the brig.
When he activates the biotechnological agent that he has made on the boss, taking him completely offline.
Oh, shoot.
He threatens to do this to the second general as well, but they immediately offer to work with him willingly to avoid being put under their control and not having to do this willingly. The first thing the general does is he has the second general use his book to implant a few monsters they are going to send down with a cloning ability to clone the Rangers that will activate when the monsters are destroyed. This will happen over the course of the next 3 episodes. Leading us to Haguruma Sentai Hyuzumaija. We got some evil Rangers this time around. They appear in episode 30. They easily overpower the Rangers on their first few appearances. I wanted to actually make sure that Purple also got cloned, so we got 6. And we're going to take a break on 1 episode to go out into space a little bit and have a little bit of backstory, another character that I wanted to make sure that happened prior to this. So, the second general has made some robots on his own before, but one of them actually escaped. And has been out in the cosmos just doing her thing. And she actually gets access to some nanobots on another planet, which basically ends up upgrading her so she can take on the appearance or whatever, I guess, culture that she's in or whatever.
The primary species of planet that she's on.
And she finally makes her way to Earth as the Rangers are being attacked by the Gijutsu.
Mm-hmm.
She is our 7th Ranger.
What color?
Orange.
Yay.
Ew. Saban will never adapt it. Were they still making Power Rangers?
Orange is her color. She is a very skilled fighter, having upgraded herself with the use of nanobots to help the Ranger overpower the Gijutsu. Her mech is actually based on a rocket.
Okay, cool.
The Rangers initially don't...
But is it an electric rocket?
I don't think those are things yet. But it's more a solar rocket.
Okay.
Sort of like a whole soldier.
Yeah. Phoenix. God damn.
Whole
soldier whose theme is a phoenix.
No, Ho means Phoenix. What's that? Phoenix.
Rest in peace of peace. The Rangers, of course, initially don't trust her. The Rangers, of course, initially don't trust her. She is a robot, after all, made by them, so they think that she is a spy initially. But she starts to win them over, the next couple episodes that they're fighting. Episode 36 has the first general actually come down to kill the Rangers himself. However...
I'll handle this personally.
Pretty much, because he's getting just a little tired of it.
Dead.
The second general actually placed a failsafe in the copies. So when he comes down with the Gijutsu, they only end up listening to the second general. And as the Rangers are fighting the first one, the Gijutsu turn on the first general and destroy him.
Yeah.
The second general then calls them back to help him revive the big bad, all the while still sending down monsters as a distraction and looking through the spell book to see if anything could actually help them. In episode 37, Orange and Yellow, who have become, pretty much good friends, introduced the nanobot-based upgrade for the rest of the members. Orange also gets just another mech at this point that is based on an alien spacecraft.
Nice.
The nanobots change the outfits by expanding the powers of the suit that they wear. However, there is a time limit, as the human body can't really withstand the nanobots but for so long. So it's about 2 minutes. Red gets the ability to tap into multiple networks at once, basically as an information network. Blue basically gets a bat, dolphin-like abilities working in the realm of sonar. Yellow gets 2 bots following him around, like miniature satellites that he made.
Cool. That
can fire beams. He also gets his own finisher this way.
Nice.
Green basically gets solar/wind energy generation in his suit, giving him a major power boost. Pink gets super speed. And purple basically ends up becoming an alchemist, where he can break things down to their base elements and build them back up in like the form of something else.
This sounds incredibly dope. I love this.
There are new mechs made with an nanobot help. They all get jets that combine into one big jet in one formation, sort of like Gamma from Time Ranger, or into a giant mecha. At the beginning of the final arc, the second general starts working with the Gijutsu to really get everything back together for the big bad. And in episode 41, he notices that 2 of the pages in his spell book are stuck together. At the end of the episode, after sending out the Gijutsu to distract the Rangers while he prepares it, he conjures a portal on the surface of the Earth.
Get some goo gone.
And what comes out is a beam of light. Light elementals and angels start coming through the portal, bent on taking over this new realm that they are led into. The Zensingers respond to the area that they're attacking, surprised by these new enemies. Even more so since their weapons don't really have any effect on them. Suddenly,
the weapons are useless.
Suddenly, they are saved by another portal opening from the sky, and 6 blasts of different magic coming through and destroying the enemies.
And who might this be?
The Gin Soldiers. I'm doing a team up with my own team. This is sort of the whole reason I really want to do this again.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do the team up.
Nice. Little Deus Ex Machina-y, but nice.
Hey, if it works, it works. The teams drive the angels and the elements.
No, would be good, or a good, like, I don't want to say Easter egg, but a good, like, foreshadowing for this. Whatever logo you have for that team, put it on the cover of the book.
I could do that.
So it doesn't come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It makes more sense that they would come out.
No, because I wanted to make sure that they are legitimately in a separate world. So it's separate from the one that's...
Separate dimension of reality, not just planet.
So like what Q Ranger and Decker Ranger did.
Okay, but I would still maybe put it on the page.
Maybe.
That summons it, so that way people who know the show can go...
That's the thing I recognize.
Yeah, and also it just give them something.
So both teams in the really just the Gin soldiers at this point drive the angels and the elementals back and explain to the Zenshingers that they use their magic to track down their location after they felt the odd magic from the book. The second journal used.
So they use their what?
Their magic.
Their what?
Their magic.
Maho.
Thank
you.
The second
got there eventually.
right. They tracked down the portal that was used to let them in.
Mm-hmm.
So they ended up more or less copying it and coming through after them. I want to make sure the two teams do get along because I want a little bit of interaction. Sort of
outside of suit and all that. Yeah.
And work over the next 2 episodes to get rid of the angels and the elementals, driving everybody back, along with destroying the purple, yellow, and blue Hizumigers. During the fight, however, one of the big angels during the big mech fight fired a beam and missed, but it hit the satellite defense system around the world.
Womp womp.
Oh dear.
However, neither one of the teams ended up noticing this initially.
I would really be funny if he noticed and just went, I'm not going to say anything.
And the Gin soldiers end up going back to their world.
Gonna go by.
Well, he wasn't getting destroyed. He's one of the angels.
Oh.
So, at the end of episode 44, the remaining Hizumigers in the second journal end up repairing the big bad. And he comes down with a force of a good few thousand at the beginning of episode 45. And he tells them, because he is a bastard CEO man, that for a bit of sport, he will give them 48 hours to muster up a good defensive. Because he risks. In a show of strength, bring down all the enemies, and any effort, however, to repair the satellite field will invalidate the show of good sportsmanship on, for what he thinks, and they will launch an attack immediately.
The illusion of fair play.
Yeah. So, the Rangers come up with a plan, although it is a suicidal one. Yellow comes up with an idea of a cloaking device that the sensors of the corporation might not be able to pick up. They don't know. This is really up to chance. And Orange wants to use it as she knows the best place to interfere with the ship and place the explosives that they're putting on there to take them down.
It's an old code, but it checks out.
The others are against this, especially Yellow, but she won't give them the layout that is stored in her memory banks, as she is just a robot and believes that their lives are worth more than hers, especially if she
can't. Yellow or orange?
Orange. Orange is the one who's actually going up there.
Okay, I thought you said yellow was the robot. I may have misheard your sentence.
Yeah. Especially if she can't get out.
Yeah.
The 48 hours are up. The Rangers go out with their mechs first to take down as many of the foot soldiers as they possibly can.
Smart.
Before their mechs are destroyed by the use of sheer firepower. Orange is on autopilot. So she has two. She's using the other one, but she's using the cloaking device on it. So their mechs are being destroyed. The Rangers fight off basically the rest of the foot soldiers, the Hizumigers, and Red is holding off the big bad. So they end up destroying the rest of the Hizumigers, the second general, and the big bad, of course, was just toying with them. And he basically just knocking them pretty much all the way across the city that they're fighting in. This is taking place in the city. Orange, now on the ship, plants a lot of explosives, fighting a few of the henchmen that were left on board. However, one of the henchmen actually ends up setting off one of the explosions early. So she doesn't make it out before the explosions go off. But she does end up speaking to the rest of her team down on
Earth.
And giving them more or less the strength to fight on. They beat the big bad by use of injecting their nanobots directly into him and overloading them, causing him to overload and explode with the heat that they produce from melting the components inside. The Rangers more than lost their companion, and most of them decided to retire, with Yellow and Red staying on, both of them getting promotions. But they will still get together as a group every once in a while. Unbeknownst to the rest of the team, under the Zenshin headquarters, a familiar robot is being built. But that'll be safe for next time. That's the end.
That was as much detail as you put into a review, and I'm impressed.
Thank you.
It was great.
Yay!
You know what
I liked it a lot.
You know what this would be, because this really wouldn't be a traditional Sentai. I think just due to the amount of content and
the fact that it's good.
That too.
Some of them good.
This is what Sentai could have been.
That was a joke, but you get my gist.
This is what Sentai and like Power Rangers could have been if the companies who made them decided to age the show with their original fan base as opposed to.
Well, this one is much more for all ages. I really wanted to make the focus on like green energy and things. So like at the end of it, each episode, they'll like go out and talk to somebody who really.
It all depends on how you write it. You could make this for an older audience, but you write it the right way. You can make it for all ages.
Yeah, I know, but
that's mostly why I'm doing it.
On paper, it seems like it would be something that would be gravitated towards more an older audience than a younger audience. Because
it's also coming from him.
Well, I also just know an older audience will appreciate the messages that you have put in, against.
But I'm
anti-war and all that stuff.
But I'm really doing it, especially for, at least in this case, a younger generation.
So that they know.
Yeah, to know about this. Be like, there's all these fields. That's why I sort of want to have like those little bits like Tokucast did at the end of their episodes with the trains. Be like, there's all this other technology that people are working on.
No, that's absolutely fair. I really got a lot of Jetman vibes from it. Just the fact that it was a team that was kind of handpicked by an organization.
Well, to be fair, Jetman happened by accident.
I know, but I got a lot of, and these seemed like people less than, stereotypical Rangers, which I did like. I may have missed this because I actually was inspired with my own idea listening to your idea, so thanks for that. For my next Tokupitch. You said that the big bad based on nuclear weapons was damaged by a former ally. Mm-hmm. Did we ever get more information on that? Or is that for next time?
That's for next time.
Okay. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. That's all.
I did some setup here. Yeah.
Once again, I hate the show because it just makes me sad none of these are real.
But yeah, that's my typical pitch.
Any ideas on what the designs of the suit would look like?
That's the thing I sort of have to struggle on. I had everything else except the design of the suit themselves.
I think what you would really want to do is kind of a Mega Ranger look, very simple, and their individuality will be either in the shape of the visor or an image on the helmet, like Mega Ranger does. So I think you could do something like an updated Mega Ranger suit.
Yeah. I was thinking...
Because if they're all part of the same company, they'd be very uniform.
Yeah. And I was thinking that, just like on some of the other ones, they all have a sash, especially because the sash will end up getting covered with the nanobots for that upgrade. And the actual...
nanomachines.
The actual symbol for, whatever thing they're doing is going to be on their chest this time instead of on their head.
Fair. No, that was really good.
Thank you.
Jacob, you got
I gotta say, I really, really like the ideas you have for their super forms. Mm-hmm. I love that. Especially yellow with the satellites.
Yeah.
That's just such a cool image. To have the two little robot buddies circling around him, just blasting things with lasers. That's just a cool image. I like that a lot.
He's very
overall, really like this one.
Thank you.
It was fantastic.
And
I am also angry it isn't real.
I really had a lot of fun coming up with this one. And I think really enough, it was easier than coming up with the first ones that I had, even though they appeared in this. I was just I really wanted them to show up at some point throughout this, but I wanted to make sure that it actually had impact on the show. Sort of like when the Gokaiger showed up in Zooder, it actually had impact on the show instead of just being its own special. So I was just all right, how do I integrate these two together so it works, but it also sets up the end game? So I really base it off of the team up more than anything else and worked outwards.
That's fair. But let us know what you think about his pitch in the comments down below. As always, follow us on all the things. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.